Okay, everybody. So it's been a while since I did a video, so I'll give you a quick update. I'm getting a lot of questions, so instead of saying the same thing to 15 people, I'm just gonna do it once. So I did a dental thing. I gotta say, it's like she was one of the creepiest medical people I've ever met. Not even just dentists. It was like weird. Like yeah, I wasn't feeling it. One of the things that she brought up, two things that was you know, kind of weird was apparently radiation for throat cancers. It messes with your bone structure, right? So your jawbone and all the support and stuff, and your teeth especially. It depletes your teeth. So it looks like after this, I'm gonna have like trays, and yeah, I have to put fluoride in the tray and put it in my mouth and bite down on the tray for the rest of my life, every day for like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay. The other thing, I can't remember the name of it, but right behind my front bottom teeth here, down in my mouth, I have these bony like outcrops that stick up. They're just bone. They're covered with skin, and apparently sometimes radiation, you know, if you have radiation causes a lot of mouth problems, sores and all kinds of stuff, and there's so much bacteria in your mouth you can't open your mouth sometimes all the way, or whatever. Toothpaste irritates it. I mean, it's all kinds of bad juju. But if this skin on top of these bone things gets like a laceration or a sores on it, it takes a long time to heal. It's really bad because it's just skin over bone. It's like skin over cartilage. Just there's not a lot of blood flow there, and it's bad. So that she's like, we might have to go in there and take those out. And by the way, they'll grow back eventually. I'm like, holy crap! So now that's going to put back my treatment, and that doesn't sound like much fun at all. So there's that. So then I met with Dr. P, my primary oncologist surgeon, today, and this whole thing, man, with the VA trying to get them to approve, take over my medical care instead of going TRICARE, has been an absolute nightmare. I mean, when Dr. P came in, she's aware of this whole thing, and like a whole bunch of her staff has been talking to the VA. She was visibly pissed. I mean, the whole time she was in the office, in the treatment room with me, man, she was wow. Yeah. So I mean, she was like barking at people like, "Hey, get on the phone right now," because before I went in there, or actually while I was waiting, the VA called me and they're like, "Yep, we need to set up an appointment for this and that, and it'll be like 2 weeks from now." And I'm like, "Well, is that the soonest?" And they were like, "Yep, that's what doctor told me, 2 weeks." So I told Dr. P that, and she lost her mind. She's like, "Get on the phone right now." It's like, obviously these people are not listening to what we're telling them. Tell them he's already been through a PET, he's already been diagnosed, the whole deal. They're trying to set him back to like the beginning of the process. So come in and have a PET scan and all that. It's like he can't wait. Like, we need to get him in treatment, right? So my I flew to Maryland Tuesday and came back last night, Wednesday. By the way, it's Thursday. I think it's the 19th. I think. Sorry, 18th or 19th. I don't even know. It's crazy. It's a blur lately. Of September 2019. So, but yeah, I noticed. My neck is puffed out. It's just. I told the doc that, and she was like, "Yep, you call the VA right now." And I didn't know it, but my, what do they call it, nurse navigator at the civilian hospital had left me a voicemail. Now I'm literally like 30 feet away from her office, so she didn't even look to see if I had an appointment. She could have walked across the hall and talked to me, which kind of pissed me off. But so when Dr. P barked at this one person to go out, she went right to this nurse navigator, who called me later on. She's like, "Hey, didn't you see I left you a voicemail?" I'm like, "No, I was literally like across the hall from you." Like, but anyway, she's like, "Yeah, I talked to Scott, the VA liaison, and it's all worked out, and this, that, and the other." So she's kind of like saying, "Hey, why'd you dime me out?" But I don't care what Scott worked out. Apparently he didn't talk to the right people or let them know that I'm already or been diagnosed. I already did everything, right? I mean, so it got really weird. So the bottom line is, after that whole fiasco, the VA called me back. That radiation, actually, which is the one specialty that I'm gonna have done at the VA, and the dentist apparently. And I'll talk that in a second. But radiation finally called me and said, yeah, they're gonna put me on the schedule for Monday. So today's Thursday. So although I don't have an appointment, I'm like overflow, which means I'm going to sit at the VA all freaking day. But whatever I got to do, right, to get it done. It's my fault that I changed, insurances in the middle, and that's what screwed everything up. So really, at the end of the day, it comes right back here. I'm the one that did it. And primarily because my catastrophic out of pocket. If I go through TRICARE, it's $3,000 a year. And this could go on for, who knows? Some people actually live with cancer. So they go get treatment and they get better, and then they have to go back every whatever and get like blasted again. It just happens, right? That's what happens. So I'm thinking, fiscally long term, if I can't work, $3,000 a year, it's nothing to snivel at, right? And if the VA will cover it. But holy crap, I started a crap storm. That's the bottom line. So the dental guys at the VA, apparently dental and radiation go together, because, especially for throat cancer, because, you get a lot of issues in your mouth. These people are freaking relentless. They have called me like 6 times today. And they called me while I was in with Dr. P this morning. And I told her that her dentist at the civilian place talked about these bone things. And she was like, she's like, yeah, the chances of that, we're not worried about that right now. You have a good bill of health dentally, and that's what I need to hear. You don't need anything pulled or any fillings or anything. That's what we're focusing at right now. We need to get you in treatment. So she like totally blew off the dentist. And now the VA dentist is calling me, and I'm like, well, now they're low priority. Like, I'm trying to call them back, and we're doing phone tag, and we haven't talked yet. And I'm talking, I've called them at least 4 times, and they've called me like 6 or 7. And sometimes they don't even leave. Yeah, it's crazy. These people are getting on my damn nerve. Yeah, so that aside, so the meat and the potatoes of the discussion is, I never really disclose staging, right? What stage my cancer is in. So before I give you a number, let me talk to how that works, right? So there's a lot of stuff that goes in the sausage to find out what stage you're at, right? One of them is the location of the tumor and the size. Has it metastasized? Has it spread? What type of cancer it is important. So in my case, since it's in the tonsil, I think they're like they're counting the whole size of the tonsil, because they haven't really got a granular like X-ray of it. Like the thing lights up like the sun. They know it's the whole tonsil. Okay, but because of that, now it's like 1.5 inches or 2 inches by 1 inch. So that's a huge. If you think about a tumor somewhere else in your body, that's a big tumor, right? So I had that going against me. So that's bad. Higher stage. They had 2 spots on the bottom, one on the bottom of each lung, that kind of like showed little tiny, like it wasn't even really, you couldn't really see it, but it was, the doc was kind of like, hey, we'll keep an eye on that. That's for later, but just know that that's there, and I'm going to be watching it. Okay, whatever. But it also spread from this tonsil, like I said, to the lymph node that's literally like right next to it. And you got a bunch of lymph nodes like in your neck and your jaw and all that, right? So, but because it spread, no good. Because these little things on my nodules on my lungs that you can't even measure, no good. So stage going up. So the bottom line is, I'm a stage 3. Now that sounds scary, right? But the success rate of treatment is like 85%, right? So even though they diagnosed me with stage 3 because of the size of it and all that other stuff, the bottom line is, it's very treatable, and the success rate is high. So I think, of all the bad news I could have got, and I think that's great news. Stage 3, meh, whatever. So anyways, that's what I got right now. More and more people are starting to find out, so you'll start noticing the views on these videos, or I shouldn't say find out. I'm notifying, more and more people. Just to be honest, I have some close, kind of friends, neighbors that I haven't told yet, just because I don't have to worry about it. I don't want them to have to worry about it, right? But eventually, there's a strong possibility, and my treatment schedule is still, according to Dr. P, it's going to be radiation 5 times a week, and one of those days will be chemo. But in my research, I've seen people that get rad like once a month. And generally speaking, if you only get it, like the less frequent you get it, chances are the more aggressive the radiation is, right? So I remember Dr. P saying one of the times when I first met her that they prefer to do lower doses but more of them. So maybe it'll be more tolerable. But getting back to my original point, I haven't told, like, my neighbors. I'll tell eventually, right? But I don't want people freaking out. But there's a possibility that after the first couple weeks of radiation, I won't be able to work anymore just because of nausea. I mean, they've already prescribed me nausea meds. So like as soon as I start rad, I have to start taking these meds. So apparently, even the lower doses makes you pretty sick, right? And I'm gonna lose my hair and all that stuff. I mean, within I think like 3 or 4 weeks, and it looks like it's going to be 7 to 8 weeks of treatment, and then another month after that's going to be just straight up recovery. Trying to get your weight back up and your nutrition and kind of get you back to mainstream living because this stuff just knocks the hell out of you apparently. So I don't know. So hey, that's it. That's all I got. I'll give you an update probably maybe early next week after I meet the radiation guys. That's the key thing, I think. The dentist. So no, Monday I have a radiation. Tuesday I have the VA oncologist. I don't know why I'm seeing them. Apparently they're responsible, I guess, for my care, but they're just farming my care out to the civilian hospital. So I guess now they're going to be my primary. I don't know how that works, but I'll let you know next week. All right, so look for something maybe Tuesday or maybe Wednesday. All right, take care, everybody. Talk soon. Bye.